Yo, what up?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Men and Means podcast.
Episode Diaz.
How's everybody doing?
How is everybody doing out there?
Hey, I'm doing pretty motherfucking good.
We are doing good because it's podcast day.
Hey, man, it's my favorite day of the week.
Hey, I'm back.
He's
the second week in a
Here
row.
we are. Wow.
Anthony's back to stay.
I think you could call that trending.
And one more is trending.
Well, you know what? Thanks for the correction, brother. All
Well,
right.
that's what I'm here for.
I guess Anthony's not trending then.
Invited this guy. You
Not
know?
yet.
Yeah, I know. I tried to give you a compliment. You can't even accept it. But, all right.
So,
Kinda falls into it.
we'll rephrase it. Let's see if Anthony's back next week, guys.
Yeah, maybe this will be trending.
Our guest today is Anthony Zamora.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we could call you all the way in yet then.
3/4.
Self-admission is what I'm going to call that, man.
Hey, I was halfway. I was kind of like, I don't think I'm gonna go at the end.
We
but I made
No,
it.
you did.
we can say it's just the tip right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I will tell you guys right now, Anthony showed up without a face mask, and I feel so much more comfortable.
You know what? I feel more. Yeah, I feel more comfortable, a little more relaxed. And I'm glad the guy is here. It's a good vibe to have him here.
I feel more comfortable.
And we got Headband Tony back in the building.
I had to wear
Oh
it.
yeah, and let's speak on that. How'd you get that headband?
So a really good friend of mine gave it to me for Christmas. It was a gift. I feel like shit because I didn't give him shit for Christmas.
You know
but
what, Anthony? I can actually relate to that because a really good friend of mine actually got me a headband for
Like this?
Christmas. It's very much like it, except
What
for
color?
white,
It's white.
like Patrick Mahomes. Because, come on, I'm the greatest. You know what I mean? So let's just call that.
And can we acknowledge this friend of your guys'?
It's gonna be the other co-host here, Mr. James Martinez.
There you go.
There you go.
So,
Mr.
You guys give me
Martinez.
shit all the time for not doing things, and I specifically got. So thank you, Anthony, for wearing it today. Ken, I never seen you wear it.
I wore it the day you gave it to me. I wore it the whole day at work.
You
Come
did,
on, no, you
but
didn't.
Ken,
I did.
Ken is hiking right now. He needs to be wearing that thing. He needs to be rocking it. It
It-
needs to be in his
it'll,
back
it'll
pocket.
give you protection for your forehead.
Well, let's talk
So
about
just-
that a little bit. Let me talk about why I've been hiking and why I'm doing these things. I actually recently entered into a little bit of a competition with Mr. Anthony over here. We got a little bit of a weight loss challenge going on. We're the bigger fellas in the group. You know what I mean? James, he doesn't really fit in that category, so excluded him. Yeah, how's that feel? You know what I mean? Dude,
Well, I feel good being a spectator to you guys improving your life.
Well, I do want to get back to that, but first I think we need to do what we do.
We need
Oh,
to
you
do
know
what
what?
we
You're
do.
absolutely right, man.
God
And
damn it. That's why he's here.
yeah, you know what? Thank you for keeping me in line every step of the way. Apparently, but I'll accept that. All right.
So what do we do every episode? We got a little whiskey time for you.
We
guys.
got a little whiskey time, and with that, you know where we trying to get? Where we trying to get, fellas?
In the pocket.
in the pocket,
In the motherfucking pocket.
and we would appreciate if you guys get in the pocket with us.
Yeah, please sit back, pour a little whiskey,
Just
whatever.
relax.
Maybe you pour what we're drinking here. You want to introduce it?
Yeah. So today we have High West whiskey, American Prairie Bourbon, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, and it's bottled in High West, Park City,
Park
Utah.
City, Utah.
You know what? I don't know what any of that really means.
Neither do
High
I.
West whiskeys and shit. Is that just like their distillery or what
That's
the fuck
their-
are we talking about here? Yeah.
That's their distillery.
All right. Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
Well, you kind of call me out like popcorn reading in school, so I panicked a little bit.
Hey man, it brings back the old days.
But
I was always ready to go when they called on me.
Not me,
Yeah.
man. I'd be able to like, please don't fucking call me. Don't call me. I don't want to do it. And then, you know what? Speaking of that, then I'd call the kid that I knew didn't want him to call. I'm like, you, dude.
you guys ever see those memes where it's like everybody's a gangster till you get called on in popcorn reading?
Yeah.
That's how it
terrible.
was,
All right, man. So let's jump back into this whiskey.
So presentation.
Yeah. All right. So my initial thought on this bottle and this presentation is going to be, it looks like something from the Wild West. I could see this being in the video game Red Dead Redemption. It kind of just takes me back to those days. It's very simple, very plain. Even the lettering and everything, it really falls into High West whiskey.
Wild Wild West.
It-
Is that a fucking deer?
I don't know.
Or a
if
goat.
That's
No,
an antelope or
A gazelle, maybe. I don't know what's in the High West.
is that
plain?
is that an
We'll have to do-
Impala?
We'll have to do
Oh,
some kind
shit,
of
maybe it
investigative
is.
research. We'll have
Yeah.
to find out later.
And you guys know me. I'm always looking for the cork top.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So here's one for you guys.
Well, looks like we got a cork top.
We got a cork top, but it's a unfinished wooden top,
Yeah,
which adds to the Western
That
flair.
adds to that very basic, old-fashioned-y.
Yeah.
Maybe basic's not the right word. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with basic. Yeah, it's
basic.
which is not. I'm not against it.
It's rustic.
Would you say that's
Rustic,
Cork?
there you
Would you
go.
say that's cork though? I mean, it
No,
looks.
no, no, I
more-
think it's cork.
Yeah?
That's
Okay.
cork.
Yeah, I
for
don't-
The
sure.
finish on top.
What else
looks
would it
a little
be?
bit different.
I'm gonna call you
Well,
out now.
No, it has a cork, but it has a wooden top.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Throws it
so the
off a little bit.
presentation, like you said, it's a tall bottle. It's nothing too fancy. It looks Western. You can tell it's from Park City, Utah, just by looking at it. It has, like I said, we don't know the animal that's actually on the bottle.
Yeah, this isn't Discovery Channel, Animal Planet. We don't know.
And we don't live by prairies. you
Yeah,
know?
I don't see this shit. I see like coyotes and shit.
But Ken pointed this out earlier when he showed up with the bottle. It does have the distillery kind of the glass emblem kind of in the bottle, kind of
Yeah,
blown glass or
something. I
glass
don't know.
work.
I feel like you were afraid to say blown glass right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were
kinda
trying to
was.
shy away from it.
I was.
Yeah, I've said it like 18 times today. So
Yeah.
thank you for supporting.
So the presentation is it's kind of just basic rustic whiskey bottle.
Let me talk a little bit about the price point. I bought this bottle today. It was actually on sale at my local Stater Brothers, my favorite place to buy these things of this kind of magnitude, if you will. $35, and that's with no club membership at all. They just offer you these deals, which is Stater Brothers is great. I have to sign up and get my email and all that shit, so I'm happy about that.
And at the bottom of this bottle, it has the batch number. And that's Ken's thing. I'm the cork top. Ken likes the batch.
Yeah, there you go. I like to know. You know what I mean? We can build on that a little bit.
Anthony likes the animal on the side.
I like the animal. I'm not really into any batch or anything like that.
It's no relevance to you.
No relevance to me. But the bottle, it looks like one of those old bottles.
I feel like, you guys ever seen the show American Pickers? Like, this will be in James's backyard 30 years later, and they're like, oh my God, is this batch 20B21? Well, holy shit, dude, this is a good one.
I'll give you $5 for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no, it's $250, bro. James, I don't know if I can let it go.
Yeah.
You know
that bottle was sold during the pandemic. Someone risked their life.
Yeah,
for that
This
bottle.
is a 2020. You know what I mean? You better keep that in mind.
That's a fine whiskey you're there.
There you go. There you go.
So let's go ahead and get into the nosability of this thing.
All right, and that's one of my personal favorite segments. So let's go ahead and say
Hello.
hello.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
And how are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing just fine. The water's warm. Come on in.
Come on in. This smells a little light to me.
It's fairly inviting, I think.
It's
It's
inviting.
inviting because it is light. It's not scary.
It's
You know
like,
what I
it's
mean?
like the door's open.
Yeah.
Come on in.
It's
Yeah,
like a
it's-
nice summer breeze blowing you in. You know what I mean? Like, come on in.
It's approachable.
It is approachable. I like that. It is approachable. It doesn't push you away right off the top.
Yeah, so nosability is actually pretty good.
I'm not getting any of the melodic fruit notes.
I'm not getting any aged dark chocolate or any
no mocha.
any
Little toffee? No toffee.
No toffee, no
Getting a whiff of watermelon.
yeah.
Why you had to say watermelon, bro?
Yeah,
you had to take it there?
what's the
And
root
then you
of
looked
that?
right at me?
Come on, brother.
And you looked right at me.
Brother, I love watermelon.
This is in Utah,
You
bro.
are something else. Yeah, there's no watermelon involved in
There's
this.
no
in the
watermelon.
making of this this whiskey here. All right?
Yeah, this is straight Utah whiskey.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe a passion fruit on the back end. No, I mean I'm reaching. I'm reaching.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
no.
I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it at all.
But the more I smell it, the more I do smell like the barrel.
You know what? Yes, I agree with you. I could smell
What-
wood.
What is that? Plywood?
Yeah, maybe a little 2x4 thrown in there.
Maybe
you know
a
what
little,
I mean?
maybe a little Douglas fir.
Oh, Doug Furs. Hey, that's a nice smell though.
That's
You know
a
what I
nice
mean?
smell.
That's Christmas, brother.
Very festive.
Yeah, sir.
So nosability is pretty high. It's pretty high only because it's inviting. It's like drink me.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
Well,
So let's go ahead and get into this.
let's jump into palatability. I don't like saying it. I'm not gonna say it next time. Somebody else take it. All right?
Palatability. We're just jumping into the palatability of this.
Well
whiskey.
done.
There you
Hey,
go.
there you go. Thank you, man.
I'm just gonna say let's just.
Well,
see
before
how
we
it
do,
tastes.
can we get a little salute?
Salud.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, there's that cinnamon.
Okay.
Okay. Little nutmeg, maybe. No.
What do you think?
If I'm tasting anything, it's wood, oak barrel, maybe. I'm sure that's what it's aged in. Another thing I want to point out is this doesn't have it's not age defined. It doesn't tell you how long it's been aged, but it does taste like oak barrel, very straight up.
Yeah. So the I'm tasting that, and it's not very like the smell is lighter than the taste of the whiskey, and it's a decent taste.
Yeah, it's a
bourbon.
It has some spice to it. It like bourbonish, you know what I mean? Bourbon-esque. So you do get those notes, the bourbon note, whatever that means, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would say definitely you could tell it is a bourbon. And it's definitely not bad taste-wise, but it's not great. It's not, it's not the smoothest thing I've ever had, but it's not super spicy or anything either.
No,
What about
yeah,
you?
Yeah, no, it's smooth. You can taste the spice as soon as you drink it, and then it goes down really smooth. I like it. It's really good.
Okay.
It's gotta,
Give it another taste. I don't think you're
yeah,
getting.
maybe-
I don't think you're getting the oak.
It tastes that oak.
Oh yeah, I taste the oak now.
There we go.
that's the way to do it.
No, but,
Sometimes you got to double up.
But spices, smooth. To James's point, definitely the smell of it doesn't do it justice for the flavor. Like I said, it's approachable still.
I like that.
You could keep drinking it.
We all like approachable.
Yeah.
You know,
You keep
anytime
drinking
something's approachable, it's like it's inviting,
I'm gonna keep going back for
and
more.
we fuck with it.
I'm not approachable. People are usually like,
Yo,
that guy
you
looks
know
mean.
I'm not approachable.
Yeah, dude. James is approachable. It's like, hey, everybody.
This is kind of like right down my lane then.
Yeah, dude.
So palatability sounds pretty decent. So
Yeah,
let's go ahead and
it's-
get into the overall score for this thing.
All right. Anthony, why don't you go in and kick it
no,
off?
No, definitely. Want to go first? Initially, when I started drinking it, I was gonna give it an 8, but as I kept going, I'm gonna give it an 8.
All right.
Okay.
I disagree, but okay, James, where are you sitting at with that?
I'm not sitting okay with that rating, but Anthony's just getting his beak wet. He's getting back into the groove of things, and if he enjoys this whiskey and it's an 8, then it's a goddamn 8 for him.
I want to say one thing. I'm not drinking it with ice today.
Oh, that is a good point.
It's
Yeah,
not-
he's
it's not on the
usually
rocks.
very icy. He's so icy, if you will. Not
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, so Anthony usually takes it on the rocks. So yeah, it says a lot about the whiskey that he's gonna be able to take it neat. So
Right.
I will accept his 8 because of the way he's handling himself.
Right.
I, on the other hand, will go on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4. I'm not gonna
Quattro.
give it a 4 because of the taste or smell. It's not a bad whiskey. I would drink this. I wouldn't be upset about drinking this. I would gladly drink this. I just don't think it has enough flavor for me, and I don't think it has enough punch for me in terms of the aroma or the taste. So I'm gonna give this a 4. It's not middle of the road for me. It's a little under, but it's not a bad whiskey at all.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I think classifying it as a 4 is kind of calling it a bad whiskey. It's below average. So I'm gonna kind of sum mine up. Presentation. I mean, it's kind of lives up to its name, I suppose. It's not overall, flashy, but it doesn't look elegant either. It does look like a Western kind of bottle. The nose of it, pretty nice. I got to give it that. It was inviting upon the smell of it. The palate, there's nothing really special about it going into it with that. So that's going to knock it down a little bit to me. The price point, though, keeping that in mind, I'm not mad at the $35. I could live with that. I could take that all day. So for me, overall, where I'm going to go ahead and land on this one, I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay, so a 6.
So I'm sitting right in the middle of you two.
Yeah, so that's the average. Overall average for us is the 6.
Average, yeah, we got a
How do you
6.
say that in Spanish?
6.
There we go. So
Yeah.
so you guys, if you guys want, this thing's been ranked at 8. It's been ranked at 4. You guys be the judge. High West Whiskey, American Prairie Bourbon.
I'd like to make
Solid.
I think this would be a great whiskey to use in an old fashioned.
Oh yeah.
Right? You got a bourbon here. You make yourself an old fashioned. I think it goes well with that. And, typically I'm against adding anything to it. I am a fan of old fashions, though. I will get down with those all day. And I think this one would pair well with the bourbon. If you guys were going to eat, I don't like to eat with alcohol, but if you had to eat something with this, what do you think would go well with it? Like a steak? Seems like a fucking well done steak.
I was gonna say like a panini.
Well, hold on.
I don't like them well done, brother.
Well done steak.
No,
Is
let
that
me
what
make
you
this
just
clear. I'm saying that
Well
in a sense.
prepared.
No. I remember what I said. I don't
Wow.
personally order it that way, but this seems like I'm cooking over open fire, and I don't know what the hell. I'm just out in the middle of nowhere in the high west,
In the prairie.
in the high west prairies. This is what I'm just gonna open fire this steak on my knife. You know what I mean? And just wait till it's ready to go. Take a bite out of it. It's like real. What's the dude? Outback dude.
Outback dude. And you know
yeah.
what? I accepted your 8 because of you. I'm gonna go ahead and accept your little steak meal with it. I personally would like a roast beef sandwich.
No, you said a panini, bro.
Maybe a panini.
Get your
I was gonna
panini
say
outta here.
Nice cheeseburger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some bacon.
Kind of guy. I want a panini.
I've never had a panini. I've also never had High
What the
West.
fuck is a panini?
Yeah, that's a good. I think it's like the way they press it. I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I
A
don't know.
pan, I guess. That's what.
I don't
panini
know,
comes from.
man.
I don't know.
Somebody
But-
tell us what a panini is.
Yeah, I don't
Obviously,
know.
we need some help in that category there.
But that's gonna wrap up whiskey time for us.
That's right, and I think right now we're getting in the pocket. We're just about there. I'd like to move into a little bit talking about how each of you guys' week went. I got some things I want to discuss, but I'd like to open it up to you guys first and see where you're sitting at with that.
So basically, what I want to bring up, and I'm sure we all know here, but we want to make it known to everybody. Me and my friend Ken here are actually in a competition. Would you like to tell the
Oh
audience a little
yeah,
bit about
that
it?
is the highlight of the week.
Yeah. I'm just gonna spill the beans on that a little bit. I'm gonna say, man, I think somebody posed a question at work the other day and was kind of like, "Hey, man, let's do a weight loss challenge," and everybody kind of backed the fuck out of it. But me and Anthony, I mean, because we start putting some money on this shit, we're like, "Hey, I ain't scared, dude." And if you don't know me and Anthony, I think both of us are fairly competitive. And I think this. So basically, let me just get into what happened here. They throw like, "Oh, put 100 on it." I'm like, "Fuck 100, we'll put more."
Put 200.
Put 200, double it. So we got up to 400, and that was about as far as I was willing to go.
About 4 bones was
Four
the benchmark.
hundo, I think is what I landed on. But all right. So we decided $400. We got until July 2nd,
6 weeks.
6 weeks, to see. And the way we're doing it is just overall pounds lost. We're not doing the BMI. We're not doing all of that. Because let's be real here. If James was involved in this, we'd have to do BMI.
Yeah, we would.
However, Anthony and I both can just lose some pounds and
Some
you know what I
LBs.
mean? Yeah, drop some good old
we
LBs.
can
and-
afford to lose some LBs.
yeah, and you know what, man, and I gotta say, so far so good. I think for both of us, I think overall we identified that it's positive for both of us. I think we'd both like to win. Where you at with that? Would you like to win?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
There you go. All right.
And I couldn't be happier that they're starting this weight loss challenge. But if I can just be honest for a second, I do have some money in the game that says before the 6 weeks is up, you guys are going to come to a mutual agreement that it's not worth it.
I you know what, man? I honestly, the other day, I worked out yesterday. I hit the Claremont Loop. I didn't complete it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It was day 1, and it was a lot. All right. I went with my good friend Andrew. Hopefully that asshole subscribes to the podcast now. I'm giving fucking shout outs. That seems manageable.
That'd be cool.
Has he not
Right?
done it? Has he not done it yet?
No. I asked him while we were on the hike. I was like, "Man, you subscribe yet?" He said, "Oh, we'll do it later." And I was like, "You piece of shit! I've known you. You're my oldest friend, and this is the repayment I get." Anyway, so passing that guy because he doesn't even subscribe. I don't want to talk about him. He doesn't deserve it yet. Anywho, I don't even know where I was going with that, but you get the point. Oh, I know. We were going up there. I'm trying to run. Hey man, I ran for a good maybe 3 minutes, and I was like, "Whoo, I am out of shape."
So when you say you didn't finish it, did you like go halfway and
No,
come
yeah,
back?
we got halfway up
and then came back. So you
and then
kind of
went back down. Yeah, I mean, kind
So
of.
essentially,
That's
the
the
whole
loop.
thing.
But we went the easy route up. You know what I mean?
Easy route back.
An easy route back. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys too. It's a very steep hill. I was very worried that I'd slip and shatter my fucking arm again. You know what I mean? And I was like, Andrew can't get me out of here. I'm gonna have to do it all by myself again. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, so I couldn't be happy that they started this challenge. I only say what I said to get them a little bit more motivated because they work against the gun. Behind the 8 ball, these guys, they like the fucking doubts. They are very competitive. And for me to tell them that they're both going to be quitters, it actually is working well for both of them.
Anthony keeps telling me like, yeah, man, I hope you do good, and I'm like, this guy's trying to get in my fucking head.
I actually,
you know?
I hope you do great.
See what I mean? This guy's trying to get in my head.
I hope you win.
I don't accept
I
it.
really hope you win.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, I know what he's doing.
No, it's not reverse psychology.
Nope.
I really want you to do well.
I know what you're doing, and I don't accept it.
If there's one person that I want to succeed, is you.
What about me?
You've already
Fuck off. Okay, you started this conversation, all right? Yeah, and the funny thing is because James is real into this world, right? He knows what he's doing in that regard, and I keep like texting him things, and I'm like, I'm probably annoying this guy because I'm like, hey man, well, what would you eat? You know what I mean?
Are you asking for advice?
You damn right I am. That's fair game.
I've been waiting for Ken to hit me up for fitness advice or health advice for like years.
You already made him a meal plan before, and he never used it.
Yeah, but he's not
You know
there
what?
yet.
I'm sure he's probably made you something before
No,
too.
he gave me macros. That's it.
Yeah, all right. And
How many friends give friends macros?
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
So
I
be
didn't get any.
grateful.
I didn't get any macros.
I still have that.
I don't even know what
posted with
macros
the
is. Macros. The fuck is that? Fucking micros. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Whatever.
So this week we got a weight loss challenge going, and we will keep you guys updated because I want to hold them accountable. I want you guys to know if they are quitters or if they're fucking in it to win it.
Yeah, and we'll be honest about it. Ain't no shame in our game.
And just to be clear, we have 4 bones on the line right
Four
here.
hundo.
So, I mean, the winner's gonna
What
win.
is it? YG 400.
Yeah. So we got that recap for the week. All right, we got that. That was a highlight of my week. Just so you guys know.
All right, same here. So with that said, I got a question I want to ask both of you, and I'd like your honest opinion.
No.
Well, it's not that kind of a question, but all right.
No, you can't borrow $400, Ken.
Give me 400. Nah, I want to know, what's your favorite cereal? That's my question. I want to know it. I want honest answers, and I want you to shoot it off. James, go.
You have to pass it to Anthony first.
No, come on, shoot me a cereal.
First of all, I haven't eaten cereal.
God damn it. All right, Anthony, cereal.
Reese's penis.
Reese's penis.
Reese's.
Who's Reese's?
Reese's Pieces.
You like
Peanut
Reese's
butter.
penis?
Crunch.
I can't work with this.
Oh shit. Wow, that is gold, brother. Wow.
Let's take that out. Let's take that out.
Reese's penis. Me taking that out. That's perfect. It's okay. Everybody understands, man. I'm
Never in
not
the
worried
history
about
of
it.
media would they ever take that out.
Dude,
Not even on live air.
That's too great. It's too great. You know what I mean?
But
It's
okay,
so
so
great.
I've never had that myself, but all right.
Reese's Pieces. Peanut butter crunch.
I've been out of the game
Okay.
so long, I've never heard of that cereal.
Is that in
You
the
never heard
stores?
of the
What
Reese's
fuck
one?
is this?
I never heard of what you said. I don't know any Reese.
I don't want to. You know what I mean? Keep that guy away from me.
Well, what's yours?
let's
I'm gonna
move
have to
away
think
from
about
this
Nah,
that.
topic
man, I want to
now.
know yours. I'm gonna say mine, but I know
Fruit
you guys
Loops.
are gonna judge mine hard.
Fruit Loops.
It's not mine. No, I fucking hate Fruit Loops. To be honest,
I feel like Ken's like a life guy or like a Kicks.
Wrong. I'll tell you. I have it. I'm not gonna change my
Raisin
brand.
Wheaties.
You're like a Raisin Bran guy.
Just tell me what yours is. Can we just jump into what yours is?
Mine's fruity. Mine is like Fruity Pebbles or Fruit Loops.
So we got a
or-
fruity guy and we got the Reese's penis. Okay, cool. Good to know. All right. Which one?
Probably Fruity Pebbles.
All right. You
Wow.
know what? I feel like with
Actually,
Fruity Pebbles, it gets soggy too fast.
I hate. That's exactly what
It's
it
like
is.
fucking 30 seconds in. I'm like, the bowl's done.
I hated Fruity
So
Pebbles.
for
'cause of
everybody
that
out there
reason.
listening, I'm 31 years old. I don't have a cereal bowl for longer than a minute. I pour it and it's gone. In a
I don't
minute.
eat cereal anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in years. But
I actually had it this morning.
oh,
I-
interesting.
Actually, I'm sorry. I take that back.
Reese's peanuts this morning.
My
No,
favorite. My
I
favorite.
had.
Actually, yeah. My favorite cereal is Frosted Flakes.
Okay. That's
Okay.
Just coming to mind.
That's
That's
solid.
it.
I get that a lot. I hear that one. Also, I'm gonna drop
You-
mine.
Wait. You ask us a lot?
What?
You ask this question a lot? You say you get this a lot.
Yeah, I've been asking a lot lately. It's been a common question that I've been.
Okay. So what do you like?
You know me, man. Yeah, I get on something I want to know. Mine's gonna blow your mind because it's the best fucking cereal that anyone's ever had, and it's and James actually hit it right on the head there. It's Raisin Bran.
Yeah.
I'm a
I
big
know.
Raisin Bran fan.
The
It's
fuck
it's
is
fucking
that?
delicious, dude. 2 scoops of raisins.
He's an old soul, guys.
Yeah, it's good.
Raisin Bran?
It's like, man, you
I
don't need
fucking
much milk.
hate raisins.
You don't need, it just kind of sets you off, right? Go ahead and hit me with that a little bit, man.
You
know
don't
what I
need.
mean?
You don't need much
Hit me with some
milk.
too, bartender,
I'm just-
please. Hit me with some.
When
too.
has
Yeah.
wait? You don't need much milk. When has that ever been the tagline
Hey,
to a
I
cereal?
don't like a lot of milk, dude.
I'm just saying, like, there's
The
alternatives out
cereal
there.
to
dude.
milk
Hey,
ratio?
yeah, cereal to milk ratio. Raisin Bran has a good cereal to milk ratio. I can enjoy it.
Okay.
It's a good cereal.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's
not going to
not.
judge you too hard because I've obviously heard a really high whiskey rating. I've heard overcooked steak paired with the whiskey. I'm not going to hate on the
I didn't say
Raisin Bran.
overcooked. I said well done.
I
okay, and
res-
that's
I
not my
respect.
that's not my means of eating it, consuming it. I'm just saying this what this whiskey reminds me of.
I respect your Raisin Bran.
All
I
right.
think it's shit.
Well,
but I
you're over here
respect it.
eating penises. You respect anything.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I said. I tried to say the whole name. I got tongue tied. All right. Fuck
What?
you.
what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here, dude?
Okay,
This man
okay.
is doing some wild shit.
Guys, everybody get it together for a second. Anthony has been on quarantine for a long time, so
Yeah.
I'd imagine there's
He's
a lot
under
of porno being consumed with Reese's penis
Tongue twat.
and tongue twat.
I'm interested to see where this goes next. You know,
I've seen that video before, tongue twat.
I've never seen Reese's penis.
I've
but
never seen that one.
You know what I mean? It's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To each his own. No hating here. All right, man. Yeah, but all right. So that's my cereal. That's where I'm at.
Okay,
I appreciate you guys sharing your insights.
Can I ask a question to follow up? Not follow up, but what latest movie have you guys seen?
Latest movie. Mine's probably Extraction. I saw that one.
I started that one. I went 3
Yeah.
quarters. I didn't really care for
A lot of people, I just kind of could totally tune it out. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a movie you need to focus on.
It was background noise for me.
It's
While
a
I was
bunch of
texting.
shooting and shit, which is cool, but I was like, I could play Call of Duty and do this shit myself. I got the same gun on the game, and mine looks cooler.
It's the gold version.
I got the gold one. Yeah, you damn right. I golded up.
What about
James?
you?
Oh well, I recently have been watching a lot of movies, but one that really stands out.
Well,
Den-
hold on. Give him the PG-13 versions, not the
Yeah, whoa, tone it down a notch.
not the sex version.
Den of Thieves.
Oh, that's a
on
good
Netflix.
movie.
That's
I
a
like
good
that movie.
I didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah, it's actually it was better than you would have imagined. I think. Not great. It's not as I've been told. It's not a great film. It's a decent movie though.
I haven't been consuming much movies this week because I've kind of wanted to dive into my culture a little bit and
What
What is that? Caucasian, European? What do you have with that?
Irish?
I get a lot of shit, but I've been trying to just
They're
immerse myself in
Mexican?
some Spanish.
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 So I looked for one of the highest rating Spanish shows on Netflix,
So,
and I
hold
wanted like production value.
Are you from Spain or are you Mexican?
I don't know. I'll do a 23andMe and we'll get the results. But
Got it.
I wanted to learn Spanish. I wanted to be immersed in some of the Spanish
I
because
respect
I can
that.
watch the show and
What did you watch?
fuck, I don't even know.
Soap-
I don't
it was
even
a
know how to
soap
say
opera.
the name. It's
No, but
not-
go ahead. I don't hear
Okay.
where your train of thought was.
Anthony speaks Spanish fluently, so I'm gonna spell it out for the audience.
Yeah, all
and
right.
He's gonna pronounce it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll try to. I've been
You got it.
just fucking.
Hey, if you
everything
can't
up.
do it, I got it. I'm an expert.
It's
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
INGOBER NABLE.
You got a pen? Write that down.
Yeah,
Let me
write
write
it
that
down,
down.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
please,
what?
yeah.
What?
You lost me. I've been drinking some whiskey.
All right, we got James scribing this down. He is now handing the sheet over. Oh, fucking fumble! That was bad.
That was terrible.
So we got it written down.
So what do you
Yeah.
got there?
James has handed it off
So-
to Anthony.
We have ingobernable.
Ingobernable.
So now I know how to say it. So what does that mean?
It basically it's ungovernable.
Yeah, that's what my Puerto Rican
Sounds like
girlfriend
it.
told me.
So.
So listen, she's not forcing me to do any of this shit.
you have to mention that.
Yeah, no.
I'm not being pressured into it.
No, because I get frustrated because I want to learn Spanish. I don't know Spanish. I want to learn it. And I thought, you know what? What's a good way to learn or get like just a gist of how to understand or just be kind of around it because I grew up like that. But that's what I've been watching, and I wanted something like that was like Netflix worthy. It's actually a Netflix original.
Mm-hmm.
It's from 2018. They have like 2 or 3 seasons. I think it's 2. But I fuck with it. I fuck with it.
So what
because-
is
That's
it?
cool.
Tell
I-
us what
I
it's
can
about a
respect
little
that.
bit.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Yeah, so basically what it's about is it's about the first lady of the Mexican president, right? He dies in the beginning of it. And she is kind of the one that gets blamed for it.
Yeah.
Right? So it opens up they're actually going through a divorce. They're like fighting physically, and then she wakes up and he's thrown off the side of a building and she's getting pinned for it. She has a background in security, so she kind of knows how to get the fuck out of there. And she kind of escapes, and now she has to figure out why he was killed, because obviously it wasn't her.
Oh.
So it's about her digging into that. But that's what I've been watching. I haven't been watching movies, but I've been trying to just get a little bit of the Spanish in my life.
All right, man. Yeah, James, I get where you're going with that. I actually applaud you for taking the time and the effort to kind of get more in touch with your culture there, man. That's a noble thing. So, round of applause to you, sir.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to check it out, it's not a bad show at all.
Mas chingon.
Mas chingon. All right, and with that, man, I think that's gonna move us right into our main topic this evening. And that's gonna be the difference and the struggles that come along with overthinking versus what some people would consider deep thinking, and what the difference between those are, how to kind of identify those, and then for me personally, this is something I struggle with, overthinking. How maybe these gentlemen can kind of provide a little insight on how to kind of get away from doing so and improve on that. That's what I'm hoping for, because man, I can't stop fucking doing it.
So how does this show up in your life?
Man, it's in every aspect, to be honest with you, man. I'd say professionally, I'm constantly second guessing myself. I can have a great day on paper. Everything can look great. We could get like the biggest things accomplished, and everything in me, I just will focus on that one thing that I know could have happened better, and I will fixate myself on that one item that didn't happen the way that I thought it should have, or whatever it is. If someone points something out, and especially in our line of work, I think I say all the time, you can have a great day, everything could go well, you can make record goals and kind of blow previous records out of the water, but everyone around you doesn't give a fuck until except for that one aspect that didn't happen right. And for me, to me, it negates everything that was done positive, and I'm just like, fuck, today was fucking shit, and I hate that, and I mean in all aspects, and that's just one.
Are you surprised by that at all?
No, I definitely think you're self-deprecating for sure.
Yeah, that's also on here. You know what I mean? I think so. I overthink and then I self-deprecate, right? Like I overthink about it, and I'm overthinking the negative, and then I just knock myself down about it, like, fuck, you fucked up. You know what I mean? And I think on one hand, it's gotten me to excel where I can. You know what I mean? Because I'm so focused on, I want everything to be perfect. I want to get it done right. I want to make sure it worked out and everything like that. However, it's also like, if Anthony will tell me like, hey man, you're doing a great job, and every time he says it, I'm like, this guy's fucking with me. Like, is he fucking with me? Why is he? Don't tell me that. How'd I fuck up? You know what I mean? Like, immediately. And that's what I mean. And then I'll kind of go home and I'll really invest a lot of effort and time into thinking about that. And as opposed, and I think James can relate to this. We spoke about it a little bit. I used to consider myself like, I just think deeper than a lot of people around me and things like that. However, I think the reality is I just overthink something to death and get no real action out of it, no real results outside of bringing myself down.
Yeah, and so at our job, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving parts in terms of what we have to do to react to certain things. And I get where professionally your stems from. I get that. But there's times where, like, me and Anthony have come to a point where we'll do 20 things right, and then one thing will just derail everything to a degree. And we've gotten to the point where we're like, you know what? But we did 20 things right.
Yeah.
You know what I
right.
mean? But so I get where that happens professionally, but like, I think it's deeper than just professionally. I think it happens more often in people's lives than they would like it to happen. Just looking at the negative part of things and not realizing that. But I think you're right, though. I think when you say that it's helped you excel, I think it has, because you see things how they happen, and you take them and then you internalize it, and then you think like, fuck, that's never going to happen again.
Right.
So it allows you to shore up a lot of things that go on in your day to day.
Yeah.
And that's the beneficial part of overthinking. But at the other end of the spectrum, I don't necessarily overthink things anymore, because I actually had a mentor a couple years ago. I used to phrase it like you said earlier. Oh, I deep think everything. I deep think this. I deep think that. And she was like, you're wasting energy. It's not about, you're phrasing it like you're deep thinking, but you're overthinking that, because some of the things that come with overthinking is like, it's not rational. You're not rational. You did great. there was one little hiccup, but it still got done. But you overthink it to the point where that one thing overshadowed the accomplishment. And I think in like you look at your professional life and all of that has to be, you have to celebrate the successes, because if not,
You should.
you should.
You know, the thing for me, like I was saying, is like I won't celebrate them because there'll be one glaring, obvious fact to me of something that didn't happen, and I could get, you know, the praise or whatever going on, and for me, I immediately am kind of like I said, like, are you fucking with me? Like, I know what happened, and now I think you're ridiculing me with what you're saying, and you know, I think too, there's a benefit to it. However, I think more times than not, I find myself just in a bad zone over it. You know, I mean, and these guys have both seen me where, I mean, like I said, Anthony will be like, "Man, you're doing a really good job." Like, you know, one of the things that was said, Anthony was actually got a promotion, and I went to him and I told him, "Hey, listen, man, I just want to congratulate you. I think you absolutely deserved it." And he told me, you know, like if there was anyone that was gonna get it over me, man, I would be okay with it being you, basically.
Let's be real. When he told me that, I said, I know.
That's an Anthony response right there, if you've ever heard one. You
I'm
know?
just kidding. I remember the
No,
time
he didn't
that.
say that. No, he absolutely was actually very nice about it, and actually said that. To me, that meant a lot. As you guys probably heard on the first episode, me and Anthony had a little dispute for a while there, and we weren't the coolest. So to hear that from somebody that I sincerely respect, I was like, okay, you know, like that was actually something that I don't think I beat myself. I didn't take it in a negative light. I was just like, all right, this is genuine. Because Anthony is a very honest person, I think, in a lot of regards. And so hearing that, I was like, all right, cool. But, I mean, this is more than just a professional aspect for me. This is like every aspect, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know where I necessarily got it from, but I know, like, if you guys listen to the last episode, I was fucking drunk. You know what I mean? Let's just call it what it is. And I mean, since then I've kind of beaten myself up over it. Like, it's not like a normal, like, oh yeah, I fucked up, whatever. Nah, man. Like, I'm literally here today, and I'm like, no, I got to retool everything about how I'm going to approach this, because I do take this very seriously. And so things like that, I do see the benefit, because me doing that, I'm like, I'll get better. I will perform better. You know what I mean? I've identified that, and I want to aspire to be better than that. However, though, you know, I think too, I understood that when it happened. You know what I mean? Like the next day I was like, oh shit, I could have probably dropped it then, but I won't. And I think James and myself have had many conversations in which we're talking about different things that are going on, and I think at that time we both kind of considered, like, I think deeper than a lot of people and all of this. But I've envied people who don't think in that regard. You know, they seem to be a lot more carefree. Things don't bother them as much. They can kind of shake it off and keep going. And I envy it, and I don't at the same time.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with like the professional aspect of deep thinking and overthinking, I think what happens is there's a set guideline for how these things typically go. And there's clear failure and there's clear success in professionalism. And I think, just for transparency reasons, I think that even myself and Anthony have been in a situation where we're like, man, we fucked that up. Like, God damn it, we fucked that up. And there's times where I got to sit down with Anthony just because of where I'm at, more of a carefree state. And I got to go, Anthony, we did everything we could. So I'm able to kind of help him understand, like, look, you also don't got to be perfect, because he's also pushing to be, you know, succeed in his career. So I have to be the voice in his ear sometimes and go, look, you did a great job. You handled it perfectly. Their expectations are just unreasonable. So there's, like, you talk about the professional aspect of it. That's one thing. But like you were saying, when you get to the personal aspect and how you beat yourself up over, you know, even having too much to drink, or, you know, you end up analyzing your behavior.
You're
at times.
overanalyzing it.
You overanalyze your behavior. And,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things it's very, like, not everybody does that. You know, not everybody can get over intoxicated and look and go, look, I fucked up. Some people just continually do that, but the person who overthinks, they're gonna tear themselves up over
Rip
and
themselves
over.
to shreds.
So basically, self-recognition of when you're at fault.
Right. But I think though too, like there's a level of that, right? There's like, hey, I've recognized this, and okay, cool, let me move forward. And then there's me, and then there's I recognize it, and I cannot shake it. Like I have to beat it. I have to beat it. And even now, I'll be like, okay, all right, yeah, right. So you did that, but only because of the result from what you were overthinking from the jump. So now you have to really focus on that, and that has to be your mentality. You have to think it every day, and I like I said, I don't know where it originates from. I don't know how I came to that conclusion that that's what I need to do. However, I just know that's what I do. If I make any mistake in life or anything like that, man, I cannot shake it. And it's not even just always me. There's many other people that go on that are many other situations that other people do, and I'll overthink that as well. I'll really sit there and kind of focus on that.
I think, just to your point, I think I also overthink a lot of things. Not to the business side of it, just basically me being a germaphobe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I overanalyze and overthink every single detail of anything that can infect anything, right?
Right.
To the degree of like, oh, I just touched that counter. Oh, it's dirty. I gotta go wash my hands.
Right.
Well, I gotta disinfect that counter now, right?
Yeah.
And oh, where did that disinfectant go?
Yeah.
Oh, when but it hit the outside. So now I gotta disinfect the outside.
Yeah.
Right? It's
consuming.
It's consuming. It'll take over you. It'll take over me. I had to learn to stop.
You know what? And after the last episode, hearing kind of how you approach that, I kind of that's kind of why I came to this conclusion here, because I thought, I can't necessarily relate to that aspect of it, but I think we're both overthinking things,
Mm-hmm.
and I think from what you were saying last time, it's like you wish that you didn't. However, it controls you in that regard. It's not like I don't get to determine, hey, you know what, I want to overthink this one and not this one. It's fucking, it just happens, and then there you are.
It just happened, and I'll tell you a scenario with Anthony. I'm somebody who can take a hobby on and like go full on into a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember telling Anthony like, hey, I'm gonna buy a surfboard and I want to go surfing regularly, and he was like, there's a percentage there. I was like, percentage of what? He's like, shark attacks. And I was like, Anthony, you're out of your fucking mind. But that's overthinking.
I mean, there is
the
a percentage.
Danger. Of course,
so what is the percentage?
But he needs no. But if there's a 0.1%,
it's enough.
It's too much.
Yeah.
So it, like you said, you don't get to choose where this percentage or where this manifests itself. It just happens that way.
Which is interesting, you know what I mean? Because like high risk things, I tend to be like, fuck it, let's just go for it and see what happens.
Let it ride.
Right? But it's like the basic things in life that I can't stop fixating on. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, how do I get better here? How do I do this? Whereas considering that, but I'd go skydiving tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm not going to overthink that one. I'm just going to fucking do it.
Would you say that professionally it's way easier to overthink, or do you do it like in your personal life?
I absolutely, with things I care about, I do it immensely. I cannot stop it. If I actually really care, I can't stop thinking about it. You know what I mean? It consumes me. So then there's like simple, like I said, like do I care if I go skydive? I guess yes, I care for my life. You know what I mean in that regard. But I also weigh out the fact that like the risk of this happening, me actually an accident happening that was life threatening is fairly limited. You know what I mean? There is a percentage, but there's a percentage every time I get in my car. There's a percentage every time I cross the street. You know,
it's like a long game Polly.
Yeah,
you type it into the
right.
computer.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Whoa, this guy's touched me. You know
risk is too high.
Yeah, and so I mean, for those aspects, I don't really worry about it because I mean, as I do know the risk is there. I'm not worried about the risk. You get what I mean? Like I'm more worried about me and what my actions, what the reactions of my actions are. If that makes sense. So if I go skydiving, it only affects me anyway. I don't really care, and that's a worst case scenario. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? All right, take that, and then it's done. However, though, so if I fail at work, my entire department's affected. If I fail in the things that I'm passionate about with other individuals that I care for and things of that nature, my relationship with them could be impacted. Things of that nature, things that I have to live with. That's where I get worried about it.
But isn't that, couldn't that be looked at like as a plus at times? Like just at times when you look at your manager or your boss. Because I know you fail but it wasn't you that failed. It could have been
Yeah,
somebody else that
a lot
failed.
of the time. Yeah.
But you're the one who owns it. You own it.
Well, I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. But we've all had managers and bosses
Someone
and
just
stuff
pushed it on you
that
immediately.
are like, oh, you fucked up.
yeah, and they
So-
throw you under the bus.
So sometimes you gain certain things in the work environment, I guess. That if you failed, you own the failure of your people. You know what I mean? So it's not a complete loss, but like you were saying personally, and then like Anthony with the germs, though, like personally, you will tear yourself up over certain things. But Ken takes it to another level when he starts beating himself up. And as me and Anthony, like we're at work, and if Ken comes with us and he's beating himself up,
We say, go away.
it comes it
Yeah.
comes it comes
You're bringing
across
negative energy in here.
it comes across as like pathetic.
Oh,
you know?
Wow.
No,
Fuck.
Wow.
No, no.
Right.
I wasn't gonna
No,
go with that.
damn.
I'm sorry.
but-
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go beat myself up about this now.
Not that Ken's pathetic, but we look at some of the issues that he has or some of the things that he's holding on to, and we can't understand it. We can't justify why he feels that way.
Well, understood. And I'd say too. So typically, let's say somebody within my group does fuck up. I take it on like I didn't train them well enough. I didn't give them the resources they needed. I didn't provide enough guidance. That's where I immediately, and a lot of times I'm like, no, you know what I mean? Like I directly did say these things and I did this. However, I still am like, I should have been better. If I was better, this wouldn't have happened. And like I said, it's like a double-edged sword with that. Like one aspect, maybe, but the other aspect is like, fuck, dude, like you did try to do that and you worked on that and what came from it. And so with that, you know, that's kind of my challenge, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. I want to learn how to separate, you know, that kind of aspect from it, and how to really kind of let it engulf my entire being when it does happen. It's like I can't separate. I mean, like these guys said, and I'm not even gonna argue with the word James used. It is fairly pathetic. It's like, fuck, dude. You've performed to this level. You've done all these things. It wasn't even you, yet here you are doing this.
It's not that harsh. I think that was kind of mean.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but I get it.
No,
Again,
I think
here I
that
am beating
goes-
myself up, and I'm like, it's fucking pathetic. You're
I think
right.
that
I'm
goes to
pathetic.
That just goes to the self-deprecation of you. Like you can't have anything good, right? Like you need to allow the good things to be done.
I
instead
have a
and
question.
enjoy them.
I have a question for each of us. When was the last time you self-deprecated?
Right now.
Okay, Anthony?
I don't do that very often.
But when's the last time you did? Like, what was the last thing you held yourself like, fuck?
When I dropped your camera.
Moments ago. Okay.
Moments ago.
Yeah.
No, I really can't remember a time that I don't do it. Like honestly, I'll feel bad about it, and then I'm like, fuck it, it's done, it's over with. It is what it is. Like
Yeah.
I can't fix what I fucked up already. So hanging out, working with James has helped me appreciate the good things, appreciate the accomplishments. Don't dwell on the failures. Not saying that it's not good. Like you learn. Everybody says you learn from failure and everything, and that's true. But don't dwell on them. Don't let that beat you up. Just keep trying to do it better the next time. That's it.
I'm not afraid of failure, right? Like I'm okay with failing. But because I know what I will do with failure, I know how I will respond to it. I know that I will focus on it. I will want to get better. And it's the drive that's what drives me though. Is like, okay, identify, this happened. And I will like, critique it, call yourself out, everything that's going on. I'm open to criticism. I'm okay with it. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I want you to. I prefer you to tell me what I did wrong opposed to what I did right. Because what I did right, I don't need to know. Like, all right, it's already good. I don't need to work on that. I need to know what I'm doing wrong and how to get better at it. And that's like literally, that's what drives me. And it's just funny, man. You know, I don't know how to get away from it. And I mean, I've been around James a long time, and I know that that's kind of the thing that he'll kind of preach about, if you will. It's like, hey, no, man, you need to stop doing that. You need to focus on the good and all of that. And yet, I find myself like, no.
I see it as the example of when everything that drives you is money and you want to be rich, like, and you get to that point where you say, oh, I want to have $1 million. And you get to $1 million and you're like, it's not enough. Okay, I want to have 2 million. And it's okay to have goals, But what I'm seeing as an example from you is you're never gonna meet that
Hey,
standard.
you guys ever seen Peaky Blinders?
You know, I
Fuck
see.
it,
You know where I'm gonna go with
Bro,
this then.
you
Uh,
keep bringing
I'm a
Peaky
very
Blinders
I'm a
up.
very ambitious gentleman. All right, I'm very ambitious, and I seek perfection. You know what I mean? And I think so. I'm very critical of myself if I don't get it. And I mean that's why I said things that
Can
aren't
can
impactful.
tell
I
you,
don't care.
You're not interviewing for a job right now.
I don't. Yeah, you're right.
You
I'm
don't
being
need to do
honest.
that.
Yeah, but to be perfect in an imperfect world, it doesn't work.
I agree. I agree.
To go one step further, in a company that's not perfect, you are above the level of expectation already. So that's my whole message to people that are excelling and are performing at a level that is higher than the expectation. Yeah, I don't want you to sit there and beat yourself up, but I also have to let you be you. And part of you being you is coming in and dwelling on things and going, okay. And then sooner or later, I see you click and you go, you know what? I'm going to find a way. I'm going to fix this shit. And then with Anthony, there's times where I talk to Anthony and we did 20 things right and one thing wrong. And he's like, God damn it. Because he owns that one wrong. I don't. He owns that one wrong and I don't. So I tell him, look at what you're doing for your team and what you're doing for you. We'll find a way. We'll figure out a way to make this work.
Of course, I own that. I own everything.
Yeah, you own it.
Okay.
I don't own it.
Fucking
Yeah.
Bill Gates over here.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But I try to own everything that I could, and not dwell on what I can't complete. So to your point, Ken, I just think you're a pussy when it comes to that. But so you're pathetic.
fair
You're
point.
pathetic and you're a pussy. But you
A
know.
pathetic pussy,
There you go.
if you would. Yeah.
But no, I've tried
Wow.
I've tried to learn. It's something I think from going way back to what I've dealt with in overthinking things and basically going into deep dives of my germophobia. I think it's helped me learn how to cope with things now. So my failures are nothing compared to what I have to deal outside, right? Like at the end of the day, I still deal with something internally that's way bigger than anything I do at work. So it won't affect me as much. On top of that, I have a friend who's a great motivator and can lift me from a negative state of mind to a positive state of mind.
Well, I just know how to spin shit. Like I just know how to spin shit. So if
Yeah.
you tell me a problem that you fucked up on, I'll give you 3 things that you can rebuttal with. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Well, to that point, I think that's kind of what I do. However, if my team fucked up or someone on there, I try my best when I can to make it. I'll spin it where it was my fault
No,
and I didn't do something.
And I'm with that completely. Like same here. Like I feel
yeah, but I'm a
like-
fucking pussy, pathetic pussy. But all right, sounds
You
like you are
said-
too. But whatever.
No. No. But I'm not pathetic or a pussy. But I do try to take on everything for my team. I am the front person, right? Like regardless of what it is, regardless of who fucked up, that's me. I'm taking that first. I'm taking that first shot, right?
But
I'm gonna do what I can do to protect everybody behind me, and then if I get killed, then they're on their own.
Well, and you know what? I think we could. I think we do. We kind of will talk about things, and we'll kind of be like, okay. We just talked the other day, and I was like, hey man, what's the best way to approach this situation? We won't get into detail, but I kind of was like, what's the best way to approach it? I don't want to make the guy, and I had an email written out, and I showed you it, and you were like, yeah, no, don't put that in there. You know, take that part out, maybe reword that. And I was like, fair enough. That was the goal, though, right? We
Yeah.
both understand that aspect.
I think that would have got him probably not made it through the week.
Yeah, no, I don't. This is a different time, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
from
a
when we were
different
there,
time.
but
No, but to your point, I know you got everybody's back. I know you got everybody in this room's back.
I think we all do.
And like I said, you need to just focus on the good things. You need to stop dwelling on it. And it's easy to tell somebody to stop dwelling. I completely understand where you're coming from on a different aspect because I have been told myself to stop dwelling on my, negativities as far as overthinking on the germophobia and stuff. I've been told like, oh, just stop thinking about it. It's okay. Like, no, I can't fucking stop thinking about it. It's what it is. It's a constant reminder every minute. I can be not thinking about it at all, and then immediately it just pops into my head, and it's something very difficult to manage at times. But you really need to come back and get centered. And all I can tell you is you just need to kind of find out what centers you when you're feeling down when you're being a pussy and pathetic, what brings you back to that to that zen like state?
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and address this. I think you guys are you both are fucking bullies, and I hope the world identifies that. You've bullied me,
Pussy.
and it's fucking unacceptable. And I'm going to call the bully hotline on you motherfuckers for it. Okay, I'm very upset. No, I do. I honestly, I understand where these guys are coming from. And I guess, and I'm not gonna phrase it in the same fashion because I'm not that kind of a person. I'll let them be that. I'd say we all have our downside. You know what I mean? And there's always things that we can improve on if and things that we could face and kind of kind of improve upon. But they're absolutely right. You know, I do need to kind of get over that, I think. So my question to you both is going to be, what is your opinion on what are some things maybe I can do to do so? Like I said, it does have some benefits. So you got your work cut out for you here because I do see it being a positive. So Anthony, I'm going to ask you, since I'm a pathetic pussy and everything. So why don't you tell me what the fuck I can do, sir?
Listen, I called you a pussy, not pathetic.
You said both. We could rewind the tape.
Yeah.
You did
I
say both.
said both, but I borrowed.
You reinforced.
I borrowed the word.
You
from
adapted it
James.
to your own.
No, I just
No.
added to it.
Go ahead. Give me some fucking pointers.
Why are you bullying me?
I'm not pointing out
You
your
put it-
bully ways, brother. All right, that's what you did. I'm just showing you how you treated me.
Give Ken some advice.
So, a couple of things that I've learned is to take a step back, look at everything as a whole, right? Focus on the things that you can't control.
Focus on things I can't control.
You can control.
Oh, okay. I was
right?
like,
So that I know there's going to be
said
things
that.
that arise throughout the day that you can and can't control. When you complete something that's out of basically something that you don't think that you're going to be able to finish on time or in your control, and you actually complete it, that's a victory for you, right?
right.
You need to be able to look at something where you kind I know James can sympathize with this. You go into certain things where you're like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be able to get it done. But you do it, you complete it,
What
and
a
at the end of the
bully.
right at the end of the day,
yeah, fuck just picks on
Picking on me.
everybody, dude.
you don't know. But at the end of the day, you get it done, and sometimes you don't give yourself enough credit for getting this thing that you didn't imagine you can finish. And I know you've done things like that, and you don't give yourself any credit
Well,
for it.
if
You're
I-
kind of just like, oh, well, this person helped me, or that person. Yeah, they helped you, but you were the mastermind. You worked everything out. The details that were falling apart, you fixed them. You kept it a whole, and you don't give yourself enough credit for that. So you need to work on focusing on the things that you don't plan on working out that do work out, and using those as a badge on your shield that you can add that you did and you completed, right?
Well, if I could just throw that to that point, I was talking to my sister last night, as a matter of fact, and she made a statement to me, and she goes, man, my sister has a master's degree. She's doing a good thing. She's to me one of my shout out to her.
She
She's
took
one
all
of
the
my
brains.
yeah.
shout out.
Hold on, let me fucking elaborate a little bit. But to me, she's one of my greatest inspirations, right? But she's telling me yesterday, she's like, Ken, you realize, like, you've always been smarter than me. You just haven't applied yourself as hard. She's like, I had to really try. Whereas, like, if you just put a moderate amount of effort in, you would probably be more, at least in that, educational wise, probably I would have at least accomplished the same if I just didn't fucking try. You know what I mean? Which is shit. And I think maybe that has some bearing on where I ended up at. You know what I mean? Well, let me just come to this point real quick. But I think maybe the fact that, like, especially like in school and at work, like, we talked about procrastination previously. I tend to push shit off to the last minute, but then in that final hour, you know what I mean? I'm really like, okay, it's time to get it done. And I was telling James one day, like, I think I thrive on that shit. Like, okay, now the pressure's on. Now I need to perform. But what if I actually put the effort in ahead of time? And again, here I am beating myself up because I'm like, oh, well, you fucking suck because you don't do that.
Well-
and you should do that.
Well, to that point, I've found myself, because I'm kind of the same way. I like to be under the gun. I like to have the pressure and just be able to do it because I know I can, right?
Right.
Like, I know I can. There's nothing that's going to stop me from doing it. It's just, do I need 2 weeks to
Do
it?
I need
No.
it?
And he gave me 2 weeks. Do I need 2 weeks?
Give
I
me
don't.
20 minutes.
Yeah, right. But in all
Right.
honesty, what can really show you how easy things are is what you said, is applying yourself. So using those 2 weeks from the beginning, you'd probably be done in 2 days. Not even 2 days. You'd be done, and you would be stress free. You'd be able to fix
Yeah.
the things that you didn't
But
get
Anthony,
done. But
what
that's not how
what
we're
kind
made.
of world would I be in that world where like I had no pressures? You know what I mean? It would be boring.
It goes all the way back to when I was in school. Oh, I had a paper due. I was waiting till 12 o'clock 12 midnight the
Yeah.
night before. Right, I'm up till 3, 4 in the morning, writing my shit, typing it. I'm like, even at that, I'm like, oh, okay, I finished half of it typing. I'll finish the last half 30 minutes before class.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
and
man.
I print
Oh,
it,
hey,
and then
brother, we
I
can
try to print
relate.
it, and I try
Yeah.
to print it, and the printer fucking
Oh
doesn't
my
work.
God, I used to do it at places you shouldn't be doing it at.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about that? It's like I went to when I was going to college, man. I was going with somebody, and we were in the same class. And this individual would really put a lot of effort into it, weeks ahead and all of that, and be looking at me like, "Are you really not? You're really not gonna even start on this shit?" And I'm like, "Fuck no." Like I got this is a basic paper. It's in JC. You know what I mean? It's fine. I'll do the shit the day before. And they would put all this effort into it. And the day before, I'd be under the gun. I'd be like, okay, fuck, and here it is. And I'd wait till like fucking 10 p.m. Like, okay, well, now you got to do it. And I'd knock it out, or, maybe not all that night, but, I just have the thought process going. And I'd get a higher grade. But see, this shit just re-solidified the fact that I didn't need to fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, I beat you, and you tried hard. We'd both get A's, but I'd get like a 99, and they get like a 96. And I'm like, yeah, you fucking really tried, and I just fucking put some shit together. And not to say that's a good thing, because the reality of that is, well, what happens if I tried? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the shittiest part of it. And I don't know if that really ties into what we're talking about, but maybe to a point, because again, here I am like, well, shit, because why didn't I fucking try? Why not apply yourself?
Well, I don't know if you know, but when we're like at work or in meetings and certain things come up, I don't know half the time. Like, I'm just throwing shit out there at the last minute.
But we're good at that.
And I'm like, okay, cool, that worked. Right?
Well,
Like,
right,
I'm
but
good.
we're very good at that.
No, we are. And I think specifically when we're in meetings together, we can bounce shit off each other.
Yeah, we'll throw it back and forth until we build something. And I'm like, well, that worked out. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like I know people. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but to everything else, that is a talent in itself.
Well, I agree.
Something that you're good at, and you should be like, shit. I used to write papers with 2 hours left in class and got an A.
Well,
I used to be able to do this and got an A. I still can do this and I got an A. So,
and to that point, though, I think we both do have a good understanding of the subject before we go into it.
Yeah.
We know what we're talking about. I might not know the specifics of this particular situation, but I do know the process. I do know what's going on, and I think we're actually thinking out loud, bouncing things off of each other to understand this particular situation. It's not that we don't know what we're doing, because we absolutely do. We invest every day into it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to portray that image either. We do, but we're just like, okay, I might not even be aware of this situation, but we'll come to a conclusion right now.
And I've always said you got to fake it till you make it.
Well, see, I think, yeah, right. But I wouldn't even say we're faking it, brother.
No, for sure. But on the things we're not,
But anyway,
you got to just volley it back and forth.
So my advice to you and to everybody out there that might be listening to this, that overthinks and critiques themselves at work and is harder on themselves than their own boss at times, I want you guys to understand that the first level that you have to satisfy is your own first level of expectation. That is the one. Every morning you wake up, you get to work, you have an expectation of what needs to happen that day. That is the biggest benchmark you can hit in that day. That's the first thing you need to do. Everything else in your life that comes into your day-to-day, like Anthony said, yeah, that is just extra shit that you're going to take on as you accomplish your level of expectation for the day. The second level, if you get there, is finesse. Now, how am I going to finesse myself into a position that says, okay, I am also moving in my career? You have to move through these zones. And yeah, if you're going to hold yourself accountable, here's how it happens. You have 10 things that need to get done. That one thing that fucked up was the one thing that was rushed. And we can label it as something that was pushed through that shouldn't have been pushed through. That is completely acceptable in a professional setting. You did the 10 perfectly. The one thing that was hot that had to be handled right now fell through. Well, hey, that's a risk that had to happen with that scenario.
Well, I get what you're saying, James, and I don't mean to demean it in any fashion. However, I will say, to me, no, that's the one thing that we should have fucking handled perfectly. Like that, it could have been 100 things that happened, but there was one that was very important, and we fucking dropped the ball. That was the one that
But
stood out to everyone.
That's the thing, that it's not always your fault.
No, I agree with you.
It was rushed through so many levels, and there's so many chances of shit messing up.
And that's what happens each time, right? There are all these levels, and that's fucking great. I don't care. Oh, my bad. I don't care. I know that I need to do this, and that's what our group's expectation is to execute this perspective of this aspect of it. We need to do so. Everyone else could have failed. Everyone could fail after us. I don't give a shit about that. That's fine. This is what we need to be experts at. We need to perform top grade right here.
You know what I think your problem is? Let's just say you owned a sandwich shop, okay?
Let's say that.
You owned a sandwich shop, and every single customer that walked through that door wanted a sandwich, and you gave them a delicious
What
sandwich.
else would they come in there for, James?
Exactly. No, let me finish. You gave them a
Macaroni and
delicious
cheese.
sandwich, right? One customer comes in and says, "Hey, I want a Philly cheesesteak." You're like, "We don't really serve Philly cheesesteaks, but we can get you a Philly cheesesteak."
We'll make the most of it.
So you give them a half-ass Philly cheesesteak.
Wouldn't have done it, no.
Yeah, you would. Because
I
this
would
is
have
your
made him a
character.
great Philly's cheesesteak.
No, you wouldn't have, because you don't have the
aim to
beef.
please.
You don't have the right beef or the onions or the peppers or the cheese.
Well, then I'd explain to them ahead of time that we don't have those things.
But you don't do that in your life today. So
You
why
wouldn't
would
do
you?
that there.
Why would you assume that you had those at your sandwich
because
shop?
that's bullshit. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because I do think if I'm saying we can do something, then I think we do have the resources to do it. If we didn't, then I call that.
What are the resources for a Philly cheesesteak?
Everything you just mentioned.
Bread.
You need bread. You need the fucking beef. You need the peppers. You need the cheese.
What if you just had roast beef, but not?
Then
not
I'd
beef?
explain that to the customer ahead of time. Hey, you know what? We don't have
But
this.
do you do that
and
now?
I do that now. I'll say, hey, you know what? This is what we can do because we can't do this. This isn't proceduralized, or this is against our procedure, so we can't do that for you.
Do they walk away happy?
But typically, they do. We find a solution, and that's what I think I'm good at. Is yes, and I will be upset in a moment, like fuck. Okay, this is what they need, and I can't do it. But instead,
So for the listeners, what you're hearing right now is exactly what I wanted to hear from Ken. It's not the self-deprecation. It's not the doubt. It's not the failure. He's telling you he will do what you need to get done.
because with all of this shit I'm saying, we fucking perform. And I mean we too. I don't just mean me. We fucking perform. And I mean everyone in this room right now. But you know what, man? It's like this. I write a list of things that I need to get done each day. Every single day that I go to work, I write a whole list out. And as the day goes, the list grows. I accomplish every one of those things between me, my team, with you guys, whatever it may be. Every one of those aspects is accomplished every single day. Now, there's other things that arise that don't make it to my list because they are specialty requests, and I'm not gonna fucking focus on those. If they get done in a timely manner, great. If not, you know what? This came out of the blue. This isn't really what we do. We're trying to help out, and we will. I'm big on customer service. I think give them a pickle.
That's the number one goal.
Give them the pickle.
Give him the pickle.
We give them the pickle. You know what I mean? But you know what, man? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Whatever, man. I'm done with this shit. You guys have bullied me enough.
You're the best
Fucking.
around.
Oh, I like that. I'll walk you down with that. All right.
So I kind of want to get into a different topic real quick and kind of steer this into the relationship. I being that I've been quarantined for who knows how long, I've lost count.
Well, 3,400 years.
Yeah.
33 years.
I don't know how life is on the outside anymore and how relationships actually work. So I really wanted to kind of talk about this and the quarantine life and relationships in quarantine. So I know personally, me and my beautiful wife who was on this show last week.
Great guest.
Yeah. Amazing.
Amazing woman.
We you know, we love each other, but things got hard at times. Things got really hard at times. where
Understandable.
She couldn't stand looking at me, and I just never get tired of looking at her.
and
Shout out, I love you so
and that's why
much.
that's why you couldn't be here because you couldn't tear yourself away from it.
Couldn't
No.
part from her.
No,
Yeah,
not
I
at all.
understood.
I was like Velcro, you know what I mean? Just very hard to rip off. But just so just kind of, I want to get, you know, feedback on how, what you guys see from the outside in. There was times, honestly, I never believed in cabin fever, but dude, that shit is so real. And Erica will tell you, like, we wake up in the morning, she'd see me, she'd already be annoyed by me, So just if we go into another quarantine, what's some advice that I should do to not annoy my beautiful wife?
Well, if everybody's looking at me, and I'm honestly wondering why, because I'm like, what, dude?
No, I'll give you a little piece. I'll give you a little piece. I was only quarantined for like 2 days.
Yeah,
and then
I
Ken
never
was
did
like,
it.
"Holy shit, you're back at work." I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta get out." Like,
Yeah.
I had to get back out there, but look at everything shut down. So like, you want to be romantic, you want to be sweet, you want to be adventurous. No, like, it's not gonna happen. You're not going anywhere. So you have to find other means to connect.
Well, if I can, I want to explain the situation too, just so everyone out there understands. So as you guys know, Good Time Tony, Anthony, Quarantine Tony, he quarantined himself in the house with his wife and his 2 kids
In early February.
So yeah, from the fucking day one, right? He was like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm fucking going home. And we all understand why. He explained that a little bit last episode. So with that said, they were at home every day for what, like 6 weeks, something like that, around right in the ballpark, right?
About 2 months already.
Yeah, so you got to consider that. And to me, man, I think I've never been stuck around anyone for fucking 2 months. I don't know. So just so everyone understands that, they've been real on top of each other. And so that's more so that what we're discussing here.
And my house isn't big, so you turn around and you're basically in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, your house is bigger than mine, so whatever, jerk. Anyway, so I just
we'll get there soon.
Well, what's been your biggest struggle aside from you guys getting aside from her getting annoyed from
and being confined?
Yeah, what's the biggest struggle?
I think for her, it's me basically. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but I don't pick up my stuff immediately. Like if I make breakfast, I'll leave the plate on the table for a little bit.
Slob,
right? I'm a slob
you
like
fucking
that.
pig.
You know what I mean? But
shit.
but I it's that, and I think it's also like helping with the kids. She wants me to help more, and I try. Like today I had to stay with the kids because she had to go back to school to fix some stuff up, finish everything up, and I stayed with the kids and I handled it like a boss, like I always do.
Can I ask you a question? Does she care at all that like you just wear underwear around the house all day? Because like that's one of like
and nothing but. Let's make that clear.
Look,
you know what I mean?
First
like,
of all, I want to make this clear. It is my house. I do whatever the fuck I want.
No, I know
I
that.
walk around however I feel.
I know that.
Comfortable. But yes, she hates it.
Because that's like the lowest like effort you can give, isn't it?
But listen,
yeah, you're like Homer Simpson, dog.
It's not that it's the lowest effort.
Put some fucking basketball shorts on, dude.
Ever since I've been little, I've always just walked around in underwear. I used to go out and get the mail in my underwear.
Well,
you know
what, you were like fucking 6?
This physique is meant to be shown to the public. Like,
and that's why we're in the weight loss challenge. Okay, that is exactly why there.
But definitely, I've graduated to wearing shorts now. All right, no shirt yet, but shorts.
Yeah.
So for everybody listening, he was wearing a blazer for a Zoom meeting with no pants and no underwear.
Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me give a little background now. Hold on. Let me give a little background there. Me and Anthony both were involved in an interview. And the gentleman we were interviewing was like, "Yeah, I'm video ready, so if you guys want to jump in." And me and Anthony I was at work. I could have, but I was just like, "Whoa, dude, I'm not ready for that," And then Anthony didn't either. And then he asked Anthony directly. To be fair, he asked Anthony directly, and I just shut the fuck up, let it ride. I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
My response
later,
was,
I'm texting Anthony like, "Yeah, that was a little crazy, man. He's trying to get us to do it." And I was like, "I bet you didn't have a shirt on."
What I tell you today, I had no shirt on.
Because I know my boy, man. My boy is like, he's at the house. He got none of this shit going. He's fuck it, I'm chilling.
But my response to the gentleman was like, "Okay, thank you."
Yeah, I loved it. And like I said, I stayed quiet. I was like, this is the world Anthony can handle. Like, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know that. We're gonna bypass that. We have no interest in doing so. And I'm like, yeah, I second that. We're not gonna do it. Stay in your lane, bro. You don't even work here yet. You know what I mean? He'll probably be my boss pretty soon. So,
He'll probably be all of our bosses.
He was really cool, and I really loved him. What a great guy. He'll be my new dad eventually, and all right, we'll accept that.
So what are some of the other struggles you're going with at the house?
Just picking up, taking care of the kids, changing the diapers, giving him baths, putting him down. It's just a lot of like my wife
No,
is.
I'm asking you the struggles. You're naming like
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Well, he's saying
That's what
so-
leads to the struggles. I am deficient in the. In
So
those
you're not doing
departments.
it.
Ah, okay.
I'm not doing it as much as she would like.
How often are you doing it?
Once a week.
Wow.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
that's fucking 1 out of 7.
No. I
That's
wash dishes.
failing.
You're a
I've
percentage
actually-
guy.
Yeah, you're Mr. Percentage.
I've
and that's
actually-
fucking. That's terrible.
I've actually made breakfast twice this week. All right.
All right.
Yeah. So I made breakfast for
What
the
you
family.
make?
One morning I made eggs. What am I? Some tortillas. I made like a morning quesadilla with eggs.
You went all
I
out,
mean,
didn't you?
I try sometimes with what I can. But
You just got
I-
done saying that you leave your shit dirty though. Like,
Yeah. So you made
but
breakfast and left it all there. Like, can you wash
I mean,
this
it
now,
was,
baby?
It was before
ahead,
work.
get-
What was I
get to
supposed to
it.
do?
Wash it.
I can't wash everything before I leave.
Throw it in the dishwasher. You balling?
We're Mexican, bro. We don't use dishwashers. You know what dishwasher's for? To store plastic bags. Got it?
Plastic bags?
Yeah.
I've never heard this concept before.
Oh, brother.
I used to store like dishes in there, like that were clean,
No,
and we just leave them in
Mexicans-
there.
Mexicans do not use the dishwasher. Actually, I am actually going to start. I need to learn how to use it.
Oh wow!
I've never used
Wow,
the
that's the
dishwasher in
concept
my
there.
life.
You just fucking
Yeah.
turn the dial.
I'm gonna
Pour
have
a
to
little
try.
detergent.
I know I got some of those little.
I am half white, brother. We use it all the time.
I got some of those little. What is it? Tablets for the machine.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know where they go, but I'll figure
And
it
make
out.
sure you get some of that other shit. I forget what it's. Jet Dry.
Oh,
Jet
what
Dry
the
too, man. Don't
fuck?
forget about that. Shout out to Jet Dry. Sponsor us. You know what I mean?
So
Not after
my
Reese's
goal for
Peanuts,
next
but-
week is to start the dishwasher.
Okay.
I'm
Well, let me just say this.
No. Can I jump in here? Because I was ridiculed a minute ago, and this is my time to throw some shit back, brother. When your goal is to start the dishwasher, wow,
It's actually it would
dude.
be a family goal
Wow.
because my wife does not use the dishwasher.
Yeah,
either.
but see, here's the difference. She washes them.
I wash them too.
Yeah, but she's doing. All right, I'm just gonna. All right.
Who do you think washed the dishes today, dog?
right. Apparently she did because you said you
No,
left them there in the
I
morning,
washed
dude.
them. I know. I just told you she went to work. Ken, can you listen to the story, sir?
Well, I guess I misheard. My apologies. Anyway, I'll
bottom line-
I'll let you elaborate.
Bottom line is I'm stepping it up. All right.
Right, yeah, good.
I'm
good.
stepping it up. So if we need to go into quarantine again, I now know things that I'm deficient at, and I gotta pick it up.
Well, I hope we never go into quarantine again.
I hope so either.
So how are you handling relationship status in quarantine, Ken?
Well, there's a little piece of information nobody else will ever hear, but you gentlemen heard it last time, and that was pretty.
Which was
Yeah, obviously we're not going to get into that, sir.
We should
Please
let's talk about it.
I don't think so. Just shut the fuck up about it. Anyway, I guess right now, man, it is what it is. Actually, I think it's kind of been, for me, in one roundabout way, it's been kind of a blessing in disguise. It's kind of a great opportunity to get to kind of understand who, you're dealing with sometimes. I'm more of an in-person kind of person. I think I thrive in that realm. So it's kind of like, you got to kind of listen more. Obviously, you can't really see anybody physically in certain aspects. So, it opens you up for that. And that's kind of I've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I got to say, man, I think it's going well. And as far as that goes, to be fair, it's odd. The quarantine, it's a weird time. It's a weird place. But I think I've made the most of it, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I think that you highlighted the fact that you enjoy the fact that there's at least a stronger foundation, or at
Yeah.
least an attempt to build a stronger foundation that didn't present itself before because of the circumstances we're under.
Exactly.
And I think that that's a great thing for your particular situation.
I agree, and I think it's made me more fond of this individual, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, the understanding that and having to go through that, I've really enjoyed that. And I'm typically not a phone person, not these kind of things. I mean, I don't mind it, but it's not my number one thing. But I look forward to it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, I really look forward to it, because I think there's a great conversation, and it's forcing us to kind of have to do that, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? So if there was ever, it's actually benefited in that regard. There's no real pressure of like going out and like, how this has to happen or whatever. It's just kind of like, hey, be you, I'll be me, and let's see where that goes. And so far so good. So that's my opinion on it. James, so how's it been for you?
Yeah, I just want to give my girl a shout out because during this whole quarantine thing, she's going to school, which is a weird time because she's at the end of her degree, so you can't really fuck it off. I imagine that there's people like that are just starting college that kind of had a weird
Yeah.
semester.
Me.
She's ending college with a weird semester.
So she's not gonna have a graduation, basically.
She's not gonna have a graduation, but also it's like everything's on Zoom. Your presentations are on Zoom. Your senior projects are on Zoom, but there's still like the expectations. She's been killing it, but we spent a lot of time with her dedicated to school, but we've also made time to do things that we enjoy kind of together, um, and kind of finding different ways to do things. And like for Anthony in particular, he's married and he's got, he's always preached 202, and I imagine that that's worn down a lot of just some of the relationship aspect of it. Right?
And that was before the quarantine.
That was
right?
before the
Yeah.
quarantine. So, me and her, she's great with my daughter, and it's been good. Honestly, this quarantine has made us like tune everything out. We're kind of stuck together. We recently recorded a cover song. Like we are trying to do like
Oh, that's dope.
like small scenes and shit like that, like filming wise, and kind of just we're diving into our passion, and it's crazy because it took this quarantine for us to be able to do that, but we were good before the quarantine, and we kind of didn't skip a beat during the quarantine because I've been going to work. I didn't stay at home at all. I wasn't on lockdown. I went to work immediately, and then there's days where I stayed home, and we kind of we made the most
Made
of
the
it.
most of it. Yeah, right.
So
right.
I didn't really deal with the real negative aspect of the quarantine. I'm ready for civilization. You know, I think she is too. She wanted company, and it's funny because if she asked me the other day, she's like, "Am I acting crazy?" And I'm like, "Well, there was 2 times during this quarantine you're kind of unreasonable, but if I can count them,
He would remember exactly.
Yeah.
There was 2.
no. But if I can, what I'm saying is that if I can count them,
That's good.
you're doing a good job
Yeah.
because we've been on lockdown for like 2 years. You
Yeah,
know,
at least
the year's
About
2050,
11, about 50
You know what I mean?
times.
so it hasn't been that bad.
Well, and I kind of wanted to highlight one thing real quick. I wanted to say too. So, this individual I'm talking about, like we had barely just kind of started talking at the time. I mean, we had went out twice, right? And then all of this kind of happens, and so we were just kind of getting to know each other. So it's a very interesting time. I'm very curious if there's anyone else out there in the same kind of situation, right? Because I think for a lot of people it'd be easy to be like, I don't know, I haven't seen her since all of this has happened, but at the same time, though, like I said, it's to me, it's kind of heightened things in one regard. You know what I mean? It's like, oh wow, because I haven't, but I'm still I feel like there's like a connection in some regards, right? But I just wanted to kind of highlight the fact that I had only gone out with her 2 times prior to this. I mean, I've been out with her a couple more than that, but just with me and her 2 times, and the last one was kind of like right at the very beginning of everything. You know what I mean? And then that was it, and I haven't really seen her since. But
I think I've read a report, or a blog or something that said right now during quarantine times when people are meeting each other online, which is the only way they can meet, which is similar to meet like kind of connecting with someone right before the
right
quarantine.
before, right?
They found themselves less superficial and
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for deeper connection and kind of like learning people as opposed to just swiping left or
Well,
right or whatever way you
And
swipe.
for that aspect of it, I think that was kind of already kind of where I was at with it anyway. Like you do so much superficial anyway and just bullshit. And I was kind of already like, yeah, I'm not really interested in that. And to find someone that I can have a conversation with night in and night out, you know what I mean? I think that was just a plus. It was just like, holy shit, like I can't even kick it with you. We're not doing anything like that, going out. But to have these conversations, like I said, like I look forward to, has been so great. You know what I mean? And again, I think you guys have been in relationships for a while. You know what I mean? So I get. I think Anthony, I get where you're coming from because it's like shit. You guys got kids and there's so much responsibilities and share a house and all of this stuff, and I get it. You know what I mean? And then James, I see too. You know, like you're at like that like golden state, I think, where it's like yeah, like you're here, but then you're not here, and it's a good vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's cool there, and it's very manageable. Anthony's the one that's like, okay, like and that's why I say like you need to go to work sometimes. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out the house, dude.
Well, ever since I started going back, I've never like not to say it's bad, but I'm like I want to be at work, and I think Erica is
She
like,
wants you at work.
go to work, like get
Yeah.
out of here because I'm better off when you're not here all day.
Right,
So,
right.
You know,
And that's a good thing.
yeah. So now that she's kind of had to go back today and sometime next week, it's cool that I get to be home. I take care of the kids completely. I try to manage work and the kids at the same time, but it's good. I think one thing that this has taught me is that you need some time apart. You need some space.
Yeah, it's good. It's refreshing. And
Yeah.
I want to just highlight the fact, man. I think Anthony is a great father. And from everything I talk to him every day, damn near. And I think this guy's a great husband and a great father. And I think his family would back that up 100%. But I do think too, when you don't have anything new to talk about, like everything you've done was together, there's nothing new, and it's
to
like, what are we going to talk
top
about?
it off, I think we watched everything on Netflix, everything on Hulu.
Yeah.
It wasn't until just recently that Netflix added some shit to their
Right,
lineup,
right,
but we had tapped
right.
everything out. Like,
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
And I want to just state this for everybody. I don't like giving Anthony advice. Like right now, I know he opened this segment with like, what do you guys think? I don't like giving him advice because he is in a different place in his relationship, and all I can do is suggest a couple things. And,
Oh yeah, no, he knows
you know what I
better than
mean?
us. I'd imagine.
and it's not like he's in a terrible situation where like he needs help. He doesn't. There's just things that he needs to pick up on, and they need to get better at as a couple, and they have 2 kids under 3, and
Yeah.
life is gonna be tough right
It's
now.
probably gonna be
you know
one
what I
of the
mean?
toughest periods.
That's just the period of your life where, hey, you guys it's just gonna be rough sometimes. And
yeah.
So to shout out to Anthony and Erica for everything that they do on a daily basis. Of course, Erica was here last week. We know what she's got going on. We know what Anthony's got going on. And by no means are me and Ken gonna sit here and because like Ken said, I'm in a golden state of my relationship. He's at the beginning stages of beautiful thing. Anthony is in a fucking beautiful marriage. It's a point we're all at.
It's all different stages, right? And
that's all it
that's
is.
what life
That's
is.
all
I
it is.
think. You know what I mean? None better or worse than the other. It's just a different stage. You got to go through what you got to go through to get where you're gonna get, and that's just life. That's everything about life, I think. All right, man. So we've talked about overthinking versus deep thinking. We talked about self-deprecation. We talked about relationships in quarantine times. And so to conclude the segment, to conclude the episode,
As we always do,
it's time for our truths. And I'm going to go ahead and jump it off. And mine is basically going to be a direct result of last episode. If you guys heard that episode Nueve, I clearly got way too in the pocket. Okay. If you watch the YouTube, it is visibly obvious. And with that, man, I learned a lesson though. And as all things, again, with me being me, I beat the shit out of myself.
What did you beat? Holy shit! He beat himself off.
Beat
to that episode.
Hey, sometimes, you know what I mean?
So
No.
if you guys can go
You guys are
subscribe to that
disgusting.
episode.
How dare you? All right, watch the YouTube and see how that went. No, but seriously, I did. I was very upset with myself for doing that. And I think I bounced back well. I think I managed it well today. And with that, man, I want to extend a very sincere apology to our last week's guest, Erica, Anthony's wife. She was here, amazing guest, and I think me being drunk, I kind of my opinion of it, again, maybe I'm just kind of going too hard on myself. But in my opinion, man, I kind of fucked that up for her, and I do apologize, and I fully am excited that I know she'll be here again, and we'll get to kind of understand more about her and the great accomplishments she's made. So that's my truth, and I'm gonna let it ride with that.
Yeah. So I just want to jump on that a little bit, and she will be here again because we just scratching the surface with Erica. She has a lot of just passionate stuff that she's into, and we want to highlight that. So we want to make sure she's back in here. We would love to have her back in here. So
just you will be able to redeem team yourself next time. I don't think you were that bad. And I
You guys
don't-
ran out of here after we were done. Like
Well-
I looked up like, damn, they fucking left already.
Well,
They're like,
we have two
you know what? No, I
kids,
again,
202.
again,
203.
203.
you go ahead.
But we had to go. We had a babysitter, so we had to go. Relieve the babysitter.
That's
And
neither
let
here
her-
nor there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. But you will have a chance to redeem yourself again. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think you were that bad. She doesn't think you were bad, so don't beat yourself any more than you have.
Don't beat yourself off.
I don't know if I can promise that.
But
You guys are
so
sick.
just know that it was good. I mean, it is what it is. You got in the pocket, you left the pocket, and you went into who knows where the fuck you went,
I
but
dived into another pocket. It's like, oh, there's a hole in here. I'm gonna go to this next one.
but
you know?
yeah, you're fine. Again, I'm gonna tell you 100 times, don't beat yourself over it. So just my truth is, in this time that we're in, and people, unemployment rate being high, is basically rich people complaining about taking pay cuts, specifically MLB players and owners. Right? I saw an article that came out that they're trying to work out some deals to get some sports on TV, and you have millionaires and billionaires complaining about not making enough money. So, take a step back. Look at the economy, look at where we're at and what pandemic we're kinda dealing with, right? And
Yeah.
people not having jobs to complaining that you're not making $2 million more dollars.
Yeah,
So
And you know what? To that point, real quick, I'm sorry, James. I don't mean to cut you up. I'm gonna make it very brief. But bro, we could cancel the fucking season and you'll make shit. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting paid. Fuck you, dude. Okay. A lot of people ain't got going to work at all and getting $1,200 and that's it.
Yeah.
So fuck you. Get over yourself.
That's exactly where I was going. I'm this far away from just blowing off professional sports altogether. Like,
Yeah.
get it together. Like,
Yeah.
you're making enough money.
And fucking baseball's boring.
No, all
sucks.
sports. All sports need
No,
to
all
get
sports
it together.
aren't boring.
No,
I think
all
me-
sports need to get together.
Me and James have talked, and I love sports and all, and I love sports just to play it. Like I grew up playing sports, but one thing that me and James have agreed upon is what this pandemic and this quarantine has taught us is sports don't mean shit. Professional sports don't mean
they're always having
shit.
these conversations and not involving me, and I'm like right in the next room.
Well, you probably beat yourself
Jerks.
up over it. 'Cause
Well,
you're
you're
Angels
probably
fan.
beating yourself in the next room. Like we don't want to.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to pass the time.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you have a
so
room. You have
so-
a office mate. So
No, he's never there.
okay. So now to my truth. My truth.
There's
Time for
enough
my
of that.
So I was talking to somebody today, and they had felt like they were they weren't living up to the expectations of being a parent. And I know a lot of parents out there that feel that way. I felt like that way at times, but they had felt like they weren't living up to the expectations of what they could be as a parent, and they didn't want to look back one day and think like, "Damn, my life. I don't want my kids to grow up and think that." So I just want everybody out there who's a parent or not a parent to understand that it's all about balance. There's a time to be strict. There's a time to be goofy. There's a time to be lenient. There's a time to be just anything you want to be. But your kids need balance. They need to see their parents stand ground. They need to see their parents back down. They need to learn every aspect of what it means to be an adult. Because you can't be one-dimensional as an adult, and you don't want to raise these kids to be that way. So for all the parents out there, just understand that your job is to learn balance, and everything that you do is a lesson for your child. So if you can keep that in mind as you go through your day and go through your week and be in quarantine and teach them things, just do it, because this is one of the most influential things you're ever going to be able to do in your life. So that's my truth for you guys.
I'd like to chime in a little bit about that, and not to argue this point. I absolutely agree with it. However, I do think too, kids, man, they have a very good way of identifying like a flaw with their parents, and then kind of getting better at it, if you will. You know what I mean? And so I do think even, and that's why I sincerely hope one day I do have kids. I don't at the moment, but if I do, I think as a parent too, you have to understand like you're gonna fuck up, and that's okay. But that's an opportunity for your kids to learn too, and if you put effort into them, which I imagine whoever you're referring to probably has, that the kids will I understand that and understand like, hey, you know what, like I want to be better in that regard, and we'll do so. So it's okay. We are all humans, and you will fuck up. And that's where the lessons are learned. Same with what I need to understand about fucking beating myself up at work. It's like, it's okay. Shit will happen. And then you will get better. You will learn from it and you will fucking grow. And that's it. That's what all of us can do.
You meant off?
What?
You meant off.
What? No, I didn't.
Beat.
You know what, dude? Reese's penis over here. I think you should fucking fuck off, okay? Hey, fruity man, okay? I like fruity fucking pebbles in my mouth, okay? Fuck you too, okay? Get the fuck off my back,
and with that, I want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Men and Means Podcast.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
to the Men and Means Podcast on Instagram.
Men and Means Podcast, Instagram, YouTube,
subscribe.
Everything's coming up. With that said, too, as always, if you guys want to suggest a whiskey, please do so. Drop a comment, drop a fucking comment on the Instagram, the YouTube, shoot an email, whatever you want to do. If you want to sponsor an episode, man, please feel free to do so. I think next week we got a sponsor coming up. You'll hear a big shout out for them at that point. Let's keep this rolling. You know what I mean? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell people you hate, tell people you love, tell fucking strangers. Wear a mask and tell them. Fucking put it on your mask. Men and Means Podcast mask everywhere. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I want to tell you guys, if you guys are listening, make sure you guys are commenting and rating on any stream that you guys are listening to, just so that we understand what we're doing. Comment, make some reviews, so everybody knows what they're getting into, what we can get better at. You guys just make sure you guys do that, and we appreciate all the love we've been getting. We appreciate all the feedback.
I feel like we should get at least 3 comments on everyone, and you guys know what I'm talking about. We should get at least 3, not from us, but you guys get what I'm getting at. I mean, we
bots.
Hey, fuck it, let's comment it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down. Anyway, man. Again, as James said, thanks for listening.
Adios.
One final cheers, and fucking. You guys fuck off. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.